My name is Mike Holliday. I'm a fishing guide out of Stewart. We're currently at the St. Lucie locks. This is where the water coming from Lake Okeechobee that discharges to the east coast of Florida comes out. They just started releasing this past Saturday, December 7th. And they're releasing water to both coasts. We're getting about 1,400 cubic feet a second, which is about 900 million gallons a day, almost a billion gallons a day. The west coast is getting about 2,100 cubic feet a second, so they're getting considerably more, although that system needs some fresh water. They're releasing it because the lake levels that have been high in Lake Okeechobee for a prolonged period. The problem with the lake being high is the aquatic vegetation dies off. The sunlight can't penetrate deep enough into the water, and the water levels won't allow the grass to attach to the bottom. So they need to lower the lake. The lake's currently at 16 feet. They want to get it down to about 12 feet, and they'd like to have it down to 12 feet for about 100 days. We're going to see discharges probably for a considerable amount of time. Likely, they say even possibly into May. I hope it doesn't last that long. If the damage to the estuaries is so bad that it's super noticeable, the Army Corps of Engineers have said they will make an effort to try and pause it and let the estuaries recover. So we'll see if that happens. Until then, we're just trading out. We're killing one system to protect another system, and it's just a constant trade out. Which system do we kill first? What we're seeing is a really good example of why we need to stay on top of the EAA reservoir construction and all the projects in the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan. Until those projects are built, we're going to get these releases. And unfortunately, some of those projects aren't even funded. The funding for the EAA reservoir, still requires federal and state funding, although they've already started on the project. Until that project is online, until the EAA reservoir is online, as well as some of the other STAs, until they're constructed and completely online, you can't manage your way out of this problem. If we had the reservoir constructed, that water could go south, and then it's the winter time here, so that's the dry period when the Everglades needs that water most. So they want that water. That's where it really needs to go. But until that project's constructed, the water's going to flow to our coast, and there's really not much we can do about it. A lot of people have asked, when they enacted LOSUM, I thought we weren't going to get more water. And what LOSUM did is it decreased the discharges by about 37%, which has been really good, really beneficial for us already this year. If we didn't have LOSUM, we'd be operating under the old LOR system, which would have required them to release water earlier this year, probably as early as September. And we would have been getting not only all the local basin runoff that we had earlier this year, but water from the lake. We haven't had any discharges from the lake. What we have had this year is what they call local basin runoff. That's the water that lands on the land between Lake Okeechobee and the coast. And because of the hurricanes, because of a strong rainy season this fall, we've been getting about 1 billion gallons a day since September, even August, all through fall. We're in this endless loop where we get some recovery and then we stop it or negate it by having discharges. Some recovery, every time we feel like we're making some progress, our grass dies and we get these discharges. And the problem is we cannot manage our way out of this until we build these projects, until the water goes south into the EAA reservoir and then goes down into the Everglades. We are going to get discharges. Now, we're going to get 37% less discharges because of LOSUM, but we're still going to get discharges, particularly in the years when we have hurricanes and we have a lot of water that shows up on our coasts. One of the interesting aspects of all this is none of the water is going south into the STAs, which feed into the Everglades, because they're full and they're overflowing. And they're overflowing because sugar is allowed to drain their lands. All that local basin runoff, when the water rained on their lands, they all drain it into our STAs, which are, taxpayer financed STAs. Only about 10% of the water from Lake Okeechobee goes into those STAs. 90% of it is runoff for the sugarcane fields. We're constantly battling sugar, trying to stall the construction of the EAA reservoir. Right now, they're suing the Army Corps of Engineers, trying to manipulate the water and slow the construction of the reservoir. It's just one thing after another that just keeps building and building and building that's stalling the solution. And we really just need you guys to get behind Everglades restoration and fight for it. Create an army of voices. Your voice really does make a difference. And when you speak out, the public listens. And educate others, advocate for it, explain the issues to everybody so they understand them, and they join the Army. As a group, we can fight City Hall, we can fight the government, and we can get these projects completed. There's a simple solution to it. It's been there for over 20 years. It's Everglades restoration, it's construction of the EAA reservoir, and all the projects in the comprehensive Everglades restoration plan. And if you need to find out more, you can go to captainsforcleanwater.org and scroll through the website. Everything you want to know about Everglades restoration is there.